2024 film on Netflix, directed by F. Gary Gray, written by Daniel Kunka, starring Kevin Hart, Guga Mbatha, Vincent D'Onofrio, Ursula Corbero, Billy Magnuson, Jacob Batalon, Jean Reno, and Sam Worthington. I probably butchered their names. Sorry. It's a 2024 American heist comedy film. It was released on Netflix January 12, 2024. Pretty straightforward theft heist movie. Nothing really out of the box except for the first part of the first act. I thought it was okay. Kevin Hart and company are a part of a heist, basic theft movie stuff with Cyrus, Kevin Hart claiming they only lift or steal from those who deserve it. There wasn't really a way to mess the movie up or do anything or to be too negative with the movie as far as the direction, thought process, because when you really look at every character, you could have replaced every character, including Kevin Hart being Cyrus, with someone else. It would have felt the same. I think this was a good movie for Kevin Hart. It showed him in a non-comedic role, doing comedy here and there, but it's kind of like him breaking away from the comedy realm and being considered possibly a serious actor, even a leading man. There's a couple of B-list and C-list actors associated with it, but Kevin Hart is the face of the movie, and you can tell by how the posters have him up front and everybody else in the background, meaning that if you like Kevin Hart, if you recognize Kevin Hart, this is definitely a Kevin Hart film, but I don't believe this was written for Kevin Hart. I think he was just added to it because a lot of stuff that he's known for comedy-wise, such as being short and all that, they left that out, and he really didn't do anything except for just read lines. So without further ado, let's go through the plot of Lift. Cyrus, a renowned international thief, leads a heist crew that consists of Denton, pilot Camilla, hacker Misun, safecracker Magnus, and engineer Luke. They undertake two simultaneous thefts, stealing a Van Gogh painting in London while staging the fake kidnapping of renowned NFT artist N8 in Venice. The team staged a kidnapping for N8, and Cyrus points out that famous paintings rapidly increase in value after being stolen, and he says that his crew stole the Van Gogh painting and sold it in the black market for $20 million to buy N8 NFTs. After being quote-unquote kidnapped, N8's NFT ballooned in value to $89 million. N8 decides to celebrate with the team after being promised a cut of the money. Interpol agent Abby Gladwell, a former fling of Cyrus, uncovers evidence implicating Denton in the theft and arrests him. Rather than proceed with charges against the crew, Abby's superior, Commander Huxley, leverages their legal predicament to force them to help capture billionaire Lars Jorgensen, who intends to make more money by working with the hacking group Leviathan to stage a massive flooding in Europe, allowing him to make billions in profit through stock manipulation. As Leviathan requires payment in untraceable gold bullion, Jorgensen has arranged for a shipment of gold to be taken from his vault in London and flown to Leviathan's bank in Zurich via a commercial airliner. As part of the deal, Cyrus insists Abby join the team to provide certain cover for Interpol. The crew determines they will only be able to steal the gold while the airliner is in mid-air. To do so, they produce a private jet from a rich private art collector named Molson that Camilla will fly directly underneath the airliner, allowing Misun to switch the radar signals to make it seem like the plane is still on course while the crew diverts it to a private airfield. In exchange for loaning his private jet, Cyrus promises Molson to persuade N8 to make a special NFT art for him. After Magnus cracks the safe and Jorgensen's henchmen are incapacitated, the crew will extract the gold via the jet. Their timing is complicated when Jorgensen executes a mole in his organization and moves up the delivery date. Nevertheless, the crew is ready on time. After successfully diverting the plane, Jorgensen's henchmen attempt a hijack, resulting in the plane crash landing. Magnus, Abby, Cyrus, and Camilla are captured. Magnus escapes on the ground, while the remaining three are taken aboard the jet with the gold, headed for Jorgensen's estate in Tuscany. Desperate for the gold to not reach Jorgensen, Huxley orders the plane shot down by NATO. Harry, the crew's contact at air traffic control, works with Camilla to get a message to the pilots that there are hostages on board, forcing them to stand down. Another fight between the crew and Jorgensen's henchmen results in the jet crash, landing on the grounds of Jorgensen's villa. Abby, Cyrus, and Camilla are captured at gunpoint by Jorgensen, who also executes Leviathan's representative after they decide to cancel the deal. The Carabinieri arrive, and Cyrus uses N8's NFT technology to show them a recording of Jorgensen unaliving the representative. Jorgensen is arrested while Abby punches Huxley upon learning he authorized the NATO jets. She resigns from Interpol and joins Cyrus. Weeks later, Cyrus reveals to Abby that the crew stole the gold shipment during the heist on the airliner, replacing the actual shipment with iron bars painted to look like gold. Together, the crew recover their gold haul and celebrate their success while Cyrus and Abby rekindle their relationship. So this was the most interesting part of the actual movie. An NFT artist created an NFT of a computer image of him running through a Van Gogh painting, and that's what people were auctioning for. Just showing kind of like that process, and famous paintings being stolen increased their value. To me, that should have been the basis of the whole movie. Interesting things like that for them to quote unquote lift, because what they did was illegal, but that manipulation not only convinced the NFT artist N8 to join them, but it also made money for the artist, made money for themselves, and they manipulated the market. And that's what you see a lot of times when it comes to the stock market. People will do stuff to manipulate it, and when the price goes up, they sell and they make a lot of money. The remainder of the movie was lackluster compared to that. If you like action movies, of course you're going to like the plane scene where they have the majority of the action and the bulk of the movie, but there really wasn't any tension. I never really felt that Kevin Hart and his team were going to fail the mission. Plus, they were passive protagonists because it seems like Denton was trying to be apprehended. And then when he is, it's just like he knows he's going to be released. Abby's superior, Commander Huxley, using Kevin Hart and his team to go after a billionaire who was kind of like a bigger bad. And we see this in movies where you have people who are bad doing bad things, and they turn them into somewhat anti-heroes by going after a bigger bad. And Kevin Hart and his team became passive protagonists, where that takes away their agency and it takes away the ability to actually have them go on a journey, because at the end of the movie, there really wasn't any growth. There wasn't any complications or higher stakes. There wasn't anything moving the plot forward except for them being passive. And of course, they got the gold at the end, but they never would have partaken in this lift had Denton have not almost allowed himself to be caught just to be doing it. So there was no setup. There really wasn't a turning point. There wasn't really an opportunity. There wasn't a major setback, because them losing Denton wasn't a setback at all. And then even at the end, there really wasn't a climax. It was just, you kind of knew they were going to get the gold. You knew they were going to get something out of it. I never really felt like a wow factor like I've seen with other heist movies such as Ocean's 11, where that was more like impressive because that was like one of the first times you see something like this. But with Lift, we've seen it so many times, it would have been nice to see something fresh. And the only thing that was fresh was the thing that was done in the first act, which actually was something interesting. And the rest of the movie, unfortunately, fell flat for me and was lackluster. So Kevin Hart as Cyrus, I just didn't believe that he was a leader. I believe that he was just a guy that people, for whatever reason, liked and followed. He didn't really have an it factor. There wasn't really a realism to the movie, and I didn't really see any passion, especially the scene where Kevin Hart tells the team, "You guys are out, I'm going to go on this alone." And then people kind of are like, "Nah, we'll go ahead and keep rolling with you." That was supposed to be a point of passion, opportunity to connect with the characters, having us feel that Kevin Hart was a leader and someone that they were willing to follow, even at their own detriment. It just fell flat for me, and I didn't really see any high stakes or any sense of a possible sacrifice or anything as far as the characters being in any danger. So the pacing of the movie was okay. I didn't really see any scenes where it just seemed like we lingered longer, too long. I was okay with that. As far as the dialogue, I think the dialogue was very basic. It was just enough to kind of get us from stage 1 to stage 2, 3 to 4 to 5 and 6, and then to carry them home with the aftermath in 6. I believed anybody could have played Cyrus and Abby, and when the billionaire Lars Jorgensen staged a massive flooding in Europe, the emotional point just felt flat. It felt like the actors, majority of the time, were just saying their lines, no facial expressions or signs of emotion, no real stakes. Hey, we're just here to get a paycheck, and I think that's all it was. The pluses of the movie are, this is Kevin Hart not being in a comedic role, him kind of showing his action chops, if you will. And then Guga Mbatha-Raw, who played Abby, she's an English actress, born in Oxford, England, so she's not ADOS or FBA or anything like that. I think another bonus is that this is a movie where Kevin Hart and Abby's characters would normally be white. To me, that's a win, just because this is one of the rare times where you have a black actor as a lead, not in a stereotypical black role. I would have liked if Kevin Hart would have possibly had other black actors and actresses in the movie, but I guess we'll take what we can get. Overall, I gave this movie a 6 out of 10. Should you watch it on Netflix? If you like Kevin Hart, if you're into action movies, if you like heist movies, you got nothing going on, sure. Will you be changed after you see this movie? No. The two main things that will kind of have you saying, oh, okay, will be the stuff in the first act with the NFT artist and that scene where Kevin says he took a different path and he took a shortcut. And it's almost like saying that the game is rigged and the only way you're going to get ahead is by being different than everybody else who is kind of like going the way of sheep. All right, Lift on Netflix. Have you seen it? I did a watch along. So what do you think? Let me know in the comment section your thoughts. Thumbs up the video, share to your social media, subscribe, click the notification bell. Thanks for watching. Go forth, do great things, and I'm out. Peace.
Spade. Parkland.
Use my cash app card when I cash her out. Shoot her 250 on the cash app, then I ask her out. Cash app, I'm so cash app. Cash app, I'm so cash app.
Get on your cash app, $
Spade. Parkland.
We're going to start getting some work done, family. So please get them donations in. Get them in. $
Spade. Parkland.